From her early history, America has known the hit-and-run salesman. He arrived with a wagon load of promises, sold his wares, then quietly disappeared before his customers discovered that things weren't exactly what they were cracked up to be. Today's hit-and-run salesman is more sophisticated. This jet-age peddler has mobility. His doorstep is the world. Like his predecessors, he offers something for nothing, a lot for a little. But unlike his ancestors, it's almost impossible to pick him out from any crowd of honest businessmen. Case in point, Sewing Machine Charlie, one of the double dealers. The name of the game, Bait and Switch.
Sewing machine, man. Thank you. What kind of machine are you now using?
I don't have one now. That's why I called about your ad.
Well, have you ever used a sewing machine before?
Well, I used to use my mother's.
Where's your outlet?
Right over there.
Oh, thank you. Is your mother's machine a fairly new machine?
It's a touch and sew, or at least I think it is. It's a Singer. It's got the dials and stuff.
Well, would you prefer to have one like your mother's got?
Sure I would. I can't afford it. That's why I called you about the ad. Listen, that's not like the one you had in the ad. It's portable. In the ad, you said you had a console with a double needle.
Oh, this thing always is so difficult to handle. Well, you see, the fact of the matter is that what happens, we advertised it at a model. And I only had two, and I sold both of them just this morning. But this machine right here is just as good as that machine. And for the money, I think it's an even better buy. Let's see here. I'll show you how this works here.
What makes the noise like that?
Well, see, that's because this is a plastic model. This is not our best model, you understand. See, our best models, well, they run about $15 more. And they're really not the best, if you understand what I'm saying. The best run anywhere from $40 to $50 on up.
What year is that machine?
Well, it's a 65 or 66. Why don't you try it? Come on, right over here. That's it. And, you know, the pedal's right down there.
Okay.
Okay? Oh, be careful. Be careful. I forgot to tell you, there's a little chip in the flywheel there, and you might cut your hand. So, be careful. Be careful.
This thing's a little bit beat up.
Well, you see, that's because it's a used machine. And you know how people are when they have things repossessed, they just don't care about taking care of them.
Well, look, I really want a sewing machine, but for $59, I thought I'd get something, you know, a little bit better than this. I don't know if I could run it or not.
Oh. Well, be careful. Be careful down here now. See, this plate here. This is not the proper plate. We had this machine repaired, and well, the repairman just didn't have the proper plate. So be careful of that too. Oh, yes. While I'm here, notice this is a plastic bobbin. Oh, and right here we're missing the rubber gasket here, so you won't be able to wind the bobbin. Say, how did you intend to pay for the machine? Were you going to pay cash, or would you think of getting it on time?
Be doing it on time. Finance it if we could.
Well, that's perfectly all right. You see, we could give you a special plan whereby I could let you have this machine for about Oh, $7 or $8 a month.
Look, I really want a sewing machine, but
Yeah.
to tell you the truth, I wouldn't give 50 cents for this thing.
Oh.
It's just not what I wanted. I don't know. I guess I'm spoiled. I wanted something else. It just isn't
No,
it.
I'll tell you what. Now, don't become discouraged, because I think I've got something that might be just what you're looking for. So now I'll be right back. Just give me a minute.
I don't think I could ever make this thing run. I don't know whether they did it on purpose or not.
I think you'll find this a little bit more to your liking. I think it's probably just exactly what your mother's got. Or very close to it. Just as good a machine.
Okay, that's really nice.
You can sew with that. Let's get this out of here. Put this down right here. Okay, well, that's ready. Plug this in over here, like so. This, I think, is,
It's got a better pedal.
oh, it's, where'd our extension cord go to?
Here, right here.
Oh, yes. Thank you. All right, now you just, try this one. I think you'll find this much, much more to your liking. Is that an attractive machine?
It really is.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Oh, now this one's a demonstrator, and we've got an ad breaking tomorrow on this machine. And I'm sure that by the end of the week, we're not going to have any of them left. Listen to that motor.
It
Isn't that
sounds
great?
a lot better.
Yeah, it certainly does sound a lot better. And I'll tell you, this machine's got a lifetime guarantee. See, the other one here only had a 30-day guarantee. But with this one, you're not going to have any problems at all. Full lifetime guarantee. And now, down here, I want to show you this, so you know. See? Factory bobbin? Yeah. That's the greatest thing.
How much more is this than the other machine?
Well, as I said, this is a demonstrator. And because of the special advertising campaign we're going to be having, I can let you have this one at a special price. See, the machine normally runs $2.19, but because I've used it for demonstrations, I've used it for 3 weeks now, I can let you have it for $1.29.
This one isn't a singer. Aren't you a singer salesman?
Well, see, I've been selling machines for about 10 years now, and I want to tell you about something about machines. This one right here, this machine is as good or better than any Singer sewing machine on the market. And at $1.29, it's a real steal. And as I said, with that advertising campaign breaking, we're not going to have many left. Now, I want to show you something over here. See? See this light right here? Right there? See, it's right down by the needle. You notice? It's not behind the needle like on this one over here.
Uh-huh.
Now, can't you see that it's a lot better?
It's really nice.
Well, where the colors are blue, beige, and brown. And you can have any one of those colors as long as it's blue, beige, or brown.
You know, I really would like it, but
Well, let me tell you
can't
some more
afford
about
it.
it now. It's solidly constructed. You can see that just by looking at it. It's a much better machine. I mean, just visually. Also, the lifetime guarantee means that you're not going to have any problems with this machine. Price, $1.29. Now, I can let you have it on a special arrangement where you'll pay the same amount per month as you paid on that machine. Remember, that's a lifetime guarantee against a 30-day guarantee. Same amount per month.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have to pay any more than that. I don't know, it's just too much. I don't feel like I can do it. We have so many other things to buy.
Well, let me say
I
this
feel like
to
I
you.
shouldn't buy a Singer sewing
Now,
machine.
I
or any
understand
other.
that people can get hung up, you know,
Right now.
with obligations and things like that. Now, what I could also do is I can let you have the machine for no money down. Now, understand me, nothing, you know, out of hand right now. I can put it on the sales slip as if you didn't receive any attachments, and the sales manager's a personal friend of mine, so he'll let that, you know, sort of slide through. And as I said, for $7 or $8 per month, you can have this machine instead of that machine.
Oh, I'd like to. I have a dress I want to make for this weekend, but...
Well, you'll save a lot of money with this
I
machine.
can't do it. I hate to bring you out here and all this, but it's just too much money.
Well, look, I'll tell you. Try this machine. Now, I've come out here, I've come some distance, and I know you want this machine. So I'll leave it with you. So anything you want, absolutely no obligation. I know you're going to buy a machine someday, and I hope you'll buy it from me. I'll come back next week, and I'll pick the machine up. No obligation. How does that sound?
That sounds pretty good. No obligation at all?
Absolutely no obligation whatsoever. Well, just one tiny little obligation. I have to ask you to sign this because my sales manager insists I account for all of my machines. And
what is it?
It's just a little form that tells where the machine is, is being used. And you can read it, of course, but it's just a lot of legal jargon. Take 12 Philadelphia attorneys to decipher it. It's just a formality. So if you just sign here, no obligation whatsoever. Now, as I said, I'll come back next week and I'll pick up the machine.
This is a contract, and once this is signed, this woman will become a victim. The name of the game is bait and switch. A salesman has no loyalties, no ties with the decent, honest businessmen in this community. The indicators, knocking the advertised product, switching you to a higher priced model, and just plain lying. To make a sale, they will stop at nothing to reach you.
We're looking for people with character and standing, and we've heard from your neighbors and friends, and they all recommend you as an outstanding citizen for participation in our special leader development plan. Oh, we're not selling anything, mind you.
Yeah, this sort of thing should really be done every year. You know, I could really save you some money. You see, I have a crew and I have a lot of equipment right across the street doing your neighbor's driveway right now. And I could really save you some money if I brought them over here and I took care of this thing right away. You know, driveways should be sealed at least once a year. And if I brought my crew back here on a special job, why, this would cost you twice as much.
Well, we're closing a home show in Chicago. There's 3 demonstrator pools. They're being reshipped right now back to the factory. Now, I can redirect one of these pools right to your house, have it set up for you day after tomorrow, and you'll be swimming this summer. Now, this summer, it'll be a $5,000 pool, and you won't have to pay that. It'll only cost you half that.
We're trying to build up the business in this area as a test market, and so are able to offer this product to you for 5 years, absolutely free, so that we might point to you as your neighbors, and your neighbors as a success story. Your name will not be used in any manner, and I assure you it is free, for the cost of postage only.
It's yours absolutely free. And if you qualify as an agent representative, you'll be permitted to recommend 6 of your neighbors or friends who would also like to have a free car. In turn, we'll pay you $100 for every qualified word-of-mouth representative that sets up an appointment with our program's operations. We can do this because we find that less than 45% of our actual advertising budget affects sales. And we get more sales just having one person tell another person.
We're conducting an advertising research program, and we'd like to get your reaction on a new product we've been showing in town. We're pulling for big circulation. We'd like to show it to you and your wife, give a demonstration, and record your opinions. We have a nice gift for you for giving up your time.
All you do is pour this into your bath water 3 times a week, and it'll take off pounds of weight.
You can earn extra money, be your own boss, and still keep your old job.
Look, we get so many calls. I must urge you to decide now, tonight.
It's a service you simply can't deny your child, and it is free.
They are a small minority that prey and scheme. They trade on the names of honest businessmen. They offer something for nothing, a lot for a little. An unsuspecting public awaits them, eager to embrace their usual pitch. You must decide now, at once, before you can think it over, before you can check on their reliability. Their goal is to get your name on a contract you don't understand or don't bother to read. And once that happens, it's too late. You've bitten. Promises are their stock in trade, and lies their key to prosperity.
Well, this man had come up to the steps and said that there was a few slates was loose on the roof. So I said to him, well, if you see any slates loose, you fix them, because I said, winter coming on, I said I wouldn't want any leaks, and I couldn't get up on the roof to know they were leaking. So I said, what you see to be fixed, I said, you just do it. So he started up there to look it over, and I think he worked about maybe a half an hour, and he said he'd be back in the morning. So he came real early the next morning, and he got up there and he put some of this aluminum around, and he come down, and he said, I said, oh, I'm afraid I look at that bill. He said, well, it's $1,100. He said, if you give me $1,000 cash, I'll throw the $100 off. So he said, now this fellow will take, where do you keep your savings? And I said, the Eureka. And he said, well, he'll drive you down, and you get the cash. So I got the cash and brought it up, and he was sitting on the couch and writing this out, and I thought naturally he'd put his name down, which he didn't, and I had paid him the $1,000. Well, after I knew I had been really robbed, you might as well say, why, I did call the police, and I said, in the meantime, while he was fixing, when we were fixing the roof, the two men, he must have been the boss or something, because he was going around the neighborhood looking for the elderly couples. If the young ones came to the door, he didn't bother. And because I know the people up above are elderly, and they said he went to their place, but they wanted to find out a little bit more about him. And he said he'd drop a card in their mailbox, but he never dropped the card in. So after he had gone, I noticed that he hadn't even signed his name to this here piece of paper that he gave me. So, and at the time, we had sickness in the house, and I wasn't feeling well that day, and I think he just took advantage of us.
The salesman guaranteed us that we'd get the same couch back. So upon those conditions, we signed an agreement with him. So during the discussion, he said to us, your springs are rather worn and lost for tension, which I agreed. He says, well, how's about us putting all new construction in this? And I says, fine, that'd be great. So, which he said he'd do for us. Well, following day, a couple of men come out and took the couch. I guess in a period of about 4 to 5 weeks, we were waiting on a return of the couch. Well, as my wife got it, she was very pleased with the upholstering. But when she opened the bed, it was completely new and different bed. It wasn't ours at all. No way, shape, or form. They call it a high boy, and ours was a low boy. So I got rather disturbed about it, and I called the company. So he insisted that it was my bed, and after I told him I had photographs of the couch, and I marked my name on it, as well as filed my name on it, I guess he realized I meant the truth, and I did have this proof. So actually, he wasn't giving me any satisfaction. I wrote to Better Business Bureau. So they sent him a letter in return, and he finally got on the phone with me. And he wanted to make it good by giving me any couch but my own, which I wasn't satisfied with. So I insisted upon my couch, and he says, well, I couldn't give it to you because I don't have it. It's junk.
Being a suburban family with 5 children, we were certainly interested in saving any amount that we can on our food bills. And when we saw the ad placed in the windshield of our car for this food plan, we answered it, and the salesman arrived late one evening. After listening to his sales talk, it sounded as though we'd really be ahead on our food budget, although he had no printed price list that we could, at the time, compare with the prices we knew were current at the stores. But even with a $15.72 membership fee, this being paid once a month for 2 years, we still felt that we would be able to save money on the items that they had. Now, of course, having no complete sales brochure with him, we still didn't know what this included, but he did say that you had a 30-day trial to try out the food, and gave us the impression that if we were dissatisfied, we could then get out of the program. So on this assumption, we signed up, and with the fact that the prices seemed so good, we signed our name, and I guess that was our mistake. Later on, to be honest, they did call to check and see whether the order was right, and later said that we could have gotten out at this time, which I didn't realize. They didn't state this in so many words, but they said this was our opportunity if we were dissatisfied. But the call came in at dinner time, and being an out-of-town call, I just went ahead and told them that we had ordered and it would be satisfactory for them to send the food, which they did. But when the food arrived, we found out that it was $50 more than we had originally planned to pay. And that, I think, was our first real notice that we would be paying a lot more than we were used to paying for our food. This is a so-called plan where he had said, how would you purchase this cleaner if you could get it for $16.35? I said, who wouldn't? I asked him, what's the sales pitch? He said, as I explained in the beginning, we do no advertising. We do not pay a high price for advertising. You do the advertising for us, and therefore you can purchase this. It's possible for you to get the cleaner for $16.35. Then the rub came. The gimmick was that it's a so-called referral plan. They give you the cards to mail out to your friends. If you get a certain number of sales in 2 months, you get the sweeper for the $16.35. If you don't make it in 2 months, you have 6 months to get 10 sales. At this point, I have contacted the company. They refuse to take the cleaner back. The salesman is no longer in their employ. The finance company is a third party to the whole deal. There isn't much he can do about it. And we're stuck with a cleaner that we didn't want on the basis of us listening to a stupid salesman's testimony and our own negligence in reading a signed contract.
Mr. Charles R. Burke, President and General Manager of the Better Business Bureau of the Greater Pittsburgh area.
You have just seen examples of how the public has been swindled by the unscrupulous businessman. This could have been you. This could have been your neighbor. The unscrupulous businessman, the illegitimate businessman, is by far the minority of all business. We figure he counts for less than 1% of the sales in any area. However, it's this 1% minority that makes the news. The bad guys make the news, the good fellows don't. We at the Better Business Bureau urge you to avoid doing business with the unscrupulous who would take you. We're in business to try to help you avoid doing business with this person. We have a few words of general advice that we can give that will probably prove a good test without further check. If a company has been in business for many, many years and has a good reputation, and you have done business with it, chances are, if you do business with it again, you will not be victimized, you will not be swindled. However, if you're doing business with a company for the first time, or you're doing business with a company that's just come into the area, how do you determine whether this company is any good? Is it the type of company you want to do business with? You can call us at the Better Business Bureau. We're in business to give you some idea of what you can expect if you do business with this company. We have what is known as a customer experience record. It is simply a record of how its customers felt about having done business with the company. And by and large, this is basically the best test. Because if a company doesn't satisfy its customers, chances are it won't satisfy you. We are ready to report that to you. The Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit corporation. It exists for one purpose: to promote a better, orderly marketplace in the area in which it operates. We are trying to promote a better marketplace. We are trying to help the public achieve maximum satisfaction from its dealings with business. We can help you. We urge you to call us.
axiom caveat emptor says let the buyer beware. When the offer is unbelievable, it's often for a good reason. 4 inches high, did it say? Or did the ad say nearly? Now, when you don't know the carpet firm, the lush sample they showed you may shrink slightly when it's spread on your floor. How about a Jim Dandy body improvement kit? Just how you improve your body with these is up to you. Ah, here's something. A flashlight that never needs batteries or bulbs. It burned out in a week, but they were right. You couldn't replace the batteries or the bulbs. Here's one. Guaranteed safe. No dangerous fumes, cannot harm pets. Now, you know that this cannot be, but people answered this ad. You could have bought this for a dime. And speaking of sewing machines, whatever became of Sewing Machine Charlie?
I hate for you to come all the way out here, but would you mind if I called the Better Business Bureau before I sign it?
We wish to thank the Better Business Bureau, the Singer Sewing Machine Company, United Airlines, Carnegie Library, and the other honest businesses and citizens of this community whose cooperation has made this program possible. This is Don Riggs.